Listen very closely, and you will hear a chainsaw off in the distance. It's about 200 yards away, and yes, be sure to get my 6. There's a chainsaw. It's one of my distant neighbors clearing a trail through their property. I've been out here every fall, every winter as the leaves start to drop from the trees and you can kind of see what's out there in the forest a little better. I like to go along my tree line where the forest meets the field and clean up the limbs, the brush, mostly the limbs, anything that I can use for kindling in our wood stove during the winter. And then also that helps make my property more forest fire resistant because we don't have a lot of kindling and just fuel laying all over the forest floor, you know, in the event of a lightning strike or if a fire happens to take place out here and get out of control. The odds are better for us to be in a better position if we just don't have, you know, dried limbs and logs and stuff everywhere. So it's part of responsible land management, I guess, taking care of your area. So I've been out here for about an hour doing this, and the guy over there started his chainsaw up about 20 minutes ago. And once he started sawing, I'm gonna walk a little bit. Come with me, and yes, please get my 6. There were about 12 deer that came running over this way just before, well, just as he started sawing. I guess he scared them away. But then it appeared as if something larger than a deer and darker than a deer, came running behind the deer. So of course, me doing what I do, I went down and got the phone, the camera, and we're just gonna walk and talk and see if we can pick anything up in the background, because I do at times have the very distinct feeling as if I'm being watched. So anyway, I just thought I'd take you with me. Surprise, surprise, there's creepiness going on here on the homestead. Guys, you know how it goes, unless you're unfamiliar with the channel and my specific style of trying to capture what we can capture back here. And that is, well, a viewer recently commented, why does he just babble on and on about stuff that makes no sense or that is meaningless? Why doesn't he just let us listen while we look for the potential Bigfoot Sasquatch? I've seen it in 3 of his videos. Why does he just talk so much? And then someone responded to that it was part of my style, and they pointed out how sometimes if you listen to the story, you can learn some life lessons. So, false alarm. False alarm. So here's a life lesson. Maybe you'll get something out of this. I did something today that I haven't done in 15 years. I ran a road race, a 5K. Why? Because I felt as if I were getting in pretty good shape because I stopped eating pepperoni. Went cold turkey about 12 days ago. I haven't had any pepperoni in almost 2 weeks. Pepperoni is okay in not modification, hold on. Moderation. But I've never understood the meaning of that word. You know, it's like, I can't just eat like 3 or 4 slices of pepperoni. I buy them in the packs that like you put them on pizzas. I hear the chainsaw again. See if he flushes anything. else out of the woods. So anyway, I run all the time, and I noticed that once I stopped putting all this pepperoni in my body, I felt as if I was running faster and faster. I heard a tree knock. I don't know how to slow down the speed to 20%, or I would. I could tell you to rewind and listen. So anyway, I thought I saw a few things up here. I'm gonna backtrack and see if I'm gonna see if we're being followed. So I stopped eating pepperoni, and like on my run on Monday, I felt like I was just really flying faster than I have in, 15 years. So I'm 45 years old now, and I haven't felt like I ran that fast since I turned about 30. So the next day, I went out and I felt even better, and I believe I went even faster. And so I got this crazy idea in my head. Hey, I should run a road race. They have them every weekend down in the town there. This big running community. So I went down there today, and it was 33 degrees when I woke up, and I took my beautiful bride Dearly, aka Giggly Girl, and our son with us, and they dressed up like they were going into a snowstorm because they're from a Pacific island, as you know. They still haven't adjusted to this North American climate, especially in the winter. We got down there, there's a couple hundred people, and the race started at 8. Gun went off, and man, I took off. I was feeling good. I mean, my system has purely flushed out all the pepperoni over the last 12 days. So I'm cruising, right? And Charlottesville's a big running community, so I wasn't surprised that in that first mile there was like a couple dozen people in front of me. Because the people here, they run all the time. They're very health conscious. They eat a lot of roots and leaves and grass and stuff like that. I don't think, there's a lot of people that don't eat much of anything that used to breathe. What was that? So I doubt any of them ever had much of a problem with pepperoni like I used to 12 days ago. So anyway, we're just flying, and I mean I know what it feels like to run fast. So, I was a 4.5 minute miler back in the day, not these days. So no, that's not me running back up the hill as I put my lawn tractor in idle. I hear like a strange scream, to throw sticks and make shadows and stuff like this. So we're cruising through, and man, there's this woman in front of me. She's got to be like 60. That was extremely loud. I'm thinking, man, this is like the fastest 60-year-old woman I've ever seen in my life. Gosh. So we go through the first mile. And they're calling out splits. I didn't start my watch because I wanted to run based upon how I felt. I didn't want to be like a slave to my watch, looking at my watch, saying, oh, pick it up, slow down. So we go through the first mile, and they're calling out the split. And the woman's there calling out the split, and she's like, 801, 802. Look there. And I'm like, no, we're not running that slow. And out there, that older woman is like 60 years old. I said, man, their clocks are broken. Their watches are messed up. We're running 5-minute mile pace. And she laughed and said, oh, you're so sweet. And she threw in a surge and took off and left me, put like a 20-yard gap on me. I'm like, man, this woman is insane. I know I'm running 5-minute mile pace. These people's watches are broke, and this woman, it's got to be 60, is running like 440 pace. How is this even possible? But there's an X here. I took these X's down, and there's another one. What is that? Right there. So, go through the second mile. And I felt like, I was maintaining pace, so the split should have been like 10 minutes. Because I know 5 minute, well, I used to know 5-minute miles. running 5Ks back in the day. And they call out like 1540 or something like that. And I'm like, no way is that a 1540. I know this is like, well, that older woman, she was like way ahead of me by that point. So, but here comes this little college girl coming up beside me. Little blonde ponytail, flip-flopping around everywhere. And I'm like, their clocks are all messed up. I know we went through that 2-mile split in like 10 minutes. We're running like 5-minute mile pace right now. And she's like pointing at her ears. She had these earbuds in. I guess she was listening to music or something. She blew by me. She threw in a surge, and I saw that she had like, smartphone tucked in this little pocket in the mid-center back of her yoga pants or whatever. I'm like, man, I knew Charlottesville had a huge running community, but I had no clue they had all these, females, like a 60-year-old woman running sub 5-minute mile pace. This little college girl running 5-minute mile pace. But hey, I said, focus on me, focus on myself. I'm still looking. I think we got them confused. I think they're running all around us. I think they're flanking right now, so keep your eyes open. All right, so that 3rd mile, I was like, just hang on. Hold your, maintain your pace. These people's clocks are wrong, their watches are wrong. You got to be running 5-minute mile pace. So I just hung on for everything I was worth. And then the last mile is still there. Well, so I went through the line in 23:36, and the sad news is that the clocks were right, because they had the big main clock. What is that? So ran at 23:36. I think the pace comes out to like 7:30. So I was running 7.5-minute miles. I guess I was wrong. I should have used my stopwatch. Wow, I didn't even slow it down that time, and I saw it move. Did you guys see that? I would have slowed it down to 20% speed so we could better see the mysterious creatures lurking in the background behind us, but that one ducked behind a tree before I had a chance. Let's go this way, see if it comes out the other side. What's interesting is that chainsaw stopped. I wonder if somebody over there saw something they wish they hadn't seen. Like that. So what is the moral of the story? What is the potential life lesson? Simple. The older I get, the better I was.